Hi everyone, welcome to the Dev Fireside Chat. It is me, Howard, and Mikko today. Jacob has some family obligations, and Eric is hard at work, so we're going to be hanging out with you guys, talking about the patch, talking about co-op mode, answering questions. So I guess to start us off, Howard, anything exciting that happened in the office for the week?
I guess we're still trying to determine if the hotfix went out or not. Like, no, because I'm actually working from home today. Just because I had a doctor's appointment, and then I figured, like usually when I'm doing streams and I'm pretty loud and whatever. Um, so I guess I'm like constantly talking. So I decided to actually stay home today. So I didn't talk to Alex about the hotfix. So I don't. We're trying to find out like what actually got fixed and if the hotfix went out and whatnot. So stay tuned for that. And then on the co-op front, so we basically were testing all the game modes, and they're all pretty solid at the moment. I guess Matt, you can also let me know what you think. But like the game modes are pretty solid except for retrieve right now. Part of the reason why is just because retrieve map as it was constructed, it was a little bit hard to. I mean, it's hard to balance. Just trying to make the tension fun. So we're just kind of like going back and forth, banging our head against the wall a little bit. But in the meantime, we're also creating a second retrieve map that is less linear, and hopefully it'll fix that. Um, so yeah, I mean, with that, and we also tested incursion, which needs a lot more balance work because right now it's like there's a lot of bird watching for the crew, and the tension is not quite there. Um, so the resource stuff is like pretty much all working for the moment, unless we decide to add more wrinkles. But as it is, they kind of are working. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at. We're also trying to work with Humble to put up a pre-order as part of their the Kickstarter bundle that we're going to be a part of upcoming. And so we could potentially take pre-order on Humble as well, which is kind of nice because on our website we don't really manage it that well, and it's like we're using some like weird transaction system like that's called what's it called, like Foxy Card or something, because we don't really handle transactions, and so we were looking at a Humble widget, and then as part of the bundle we're also talking to them, and then so we actually might do pre-order on Humble now, which is like kind of nice because we could just like it's just much easier, um, and yeah, I mean that's that's pretty good, I think. Yeah, other than that, we just kind of keep working along. And of course, people are asking like, okay, when can we get the bill? When can we get the key? Um, I think we still need a little bit of time because we also ran into some performance issues. The last week I was testing, I was crashing a lot, partly because the new maps weren't optimized. So like they're just causing problems, causing me to run out of memory and crash and stuff. So we gotta like fix those as well. AI is actually pretty solid, I think, at the moment. So yeah, I mean, I think once we like figure out the performance issues, fix some stuff here and there, then we can try to open it up for Kickstarter backers and people who pre-order to start testing. But performance might take us a little bit. So I don't know just exactly when, but we'll need to figure that out.
Yep. And then, so right now the chat is having a what time zone are you in contest with each other, just like spouting off random numbers. Also,
Oh,
someone says Jacob has a family and you guys have lives, both with question marks. Yes, Jacob did not spring from the ground. We did not pluck him for internship needs. And despite some best efforts, we do actually have some lives. They're quite enjoyable, but we still love you guys as well, so have no
Jake.
fear.
I didn't know Jake has family, to be honest, but
I assumed. I mean, I guess I didn't know. I was hoping he had family.
yeah, but yeah, I didn't know.
Yep. as always, guys, if you have questions, let us know.
I mean, I know you have family just because your dad well, your mom and dad likes us on Facebook sometimes. So
Yep. Yeah, my
it's fine.
dad helps the social engine. Um, no, my family is pretty happy with my work, so they like doing little things like that to try to show that they support and care about me. They're awesome people, so shout out to my parents. Everyone knows that programmers and developers don't have lives. I definitely will admit that we put a lot of hours into the work, but I think almost all of most of it's voluntary. At least on my side and from what I've seen, we enjoy what we do.
I mean, a lot of my life is spent in front of the screen. If it is what it is. Socially, yeah. I mean,
It's a secret lifestyle. They're like rock climbers and superheroes, It's just the truth behind them.
I do go out at night and fight crime, but
the Batcape.
That would explain all the times you get quote unquote sick, Howard. It's really you got beat up the night before by Joker or something.
yeah.
Or some sort of bug.
Yeah, I will agree with Howard though. I sit in front of the screen for work, and then I sit in front of the screen because I play games because I'm a gamer. I mean, I met my wife over a video game. I sit in front of the screen quite a bit. Did you have any good ideas about the Harpoon or Minotaur fixes and modifications?
Minute? I don't know. I have to talk to Eric. Harpoon, I don't know. We just gotta buff it somehow. I'm not sure. Maybe just some crazy.
We get a lot of great suggestions, and we still take a lot of them that people offer for those things because it's just a great way for us to look at what options are available. So if people have ideas, then definitely send them in for feedback at usegames.com.
Minotaur though.
I send all that stuff forward.
Minotaur is we talked about it, right? But it's a hard debate because Minotaur is if you dial it up a little bit, just because it's kind of like mines, right? It's you dial it up a little bit too much. And then it becomes people throw up, right? But if you don't have enough, then it's just people feel it's not useful.
There was that discussion. There was that one suggestion I heard once, where it wasn't talking about buffing anything as far as piercing or shatter, but rather increasing the number of pellets or the buckshot from 5 to 10, for instance. Seeing how that would work in Dev App or something. That would be a pretty interesting experiment, I would say. Things like that would probably be worth exploring for sure,
Yeah, that's true. That I think a couple, I forgot Dementia, a couple, but anyway, a few people have brought up, which is true.
I mean, the Manicore is weird because it has that added dimension of push, so it's not just balancing, is this weapon, strong at doing a job, it's how does it feel?
Yeah.
There's no straight number for, well, it turned me this way, which ruined arcs for X amount of time, kind of thing.
I would argue that right now it feels more like it's the kind of weapon that does more of the push and does the actual damage that it's listed for, which is fine. But adding those pellets or buckshots or doing some sort of modification to give it, it's like Howard said, it's one of those weapons that's really difficult to fine tune because it's very finely,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be. It could be we'll never mind. Forget it. I think if I say something like Tom or Alex is probably gonna kill me. So just in case you're listening, I'm not gonna say it.
Right.
All right. So aside from the Barony's faction player ship, what other faction ships are finished and ready for testing, and which are the devs' current favorites?
Right now there are 2 that are finished, and then we're actually pausing on player ships for a second. And moving on to a bunch of guns. So we're making 3 or 4 different guns. Wait, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4 guns, I think. Because part of the reason why is because, with player ships, right, once again, they took us a long time to just build 2. And so George is actually spending quite a bit of time to figure out how we can improve shipbuilding, just building out tools so that we can make ships faster and prototype and iterate on ship a lot faster than we have. Because right now it takes something like 36 days altogether to create a ship for multiple people, and that's like it's a lot. So we want to see if we can get it, shave that by a week, 2 weeks even. So we kind of we made two, and they're cool. They're very fun to fly and man, but we're putting a pause on that and making guns and maps instead. Well, mostly guns actually.
Pew
Yeah,
pew.
and to answer the other part of that question, the two ships that were made are merchant and barony ships. And my personal favorite is the merchant, though the barony ship is awesome. I've been on both. They're a lot of fun to run on. I'd actually say these are the best parkour ships. Like, I feel like a lot of the knowledge and work for the past 3 years and how players use these things and how we use these things have really gone into it, and I love them.
The one where you have engines and basically repair points all over the place, and bunch of what ship was that?
Are you thinking merchant that has the back platform that you can either ladder up or you can parkour off the side?
Yeah, we had to. We're just like a staircase up the ramp. You know what I mean? On the side, the back side.
Yeah, I think that's the merchant ship.
Okay. Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
And then I've almost never seen professional devs which are as passionate and engaging in the community as you guys. Well, thank you, and as always, you guys make it easy, kind of thing. You guys continually come hang out with us, offer great questions, have a lot of great things to say, and it makes it a joy to come here. So, thank you for being awesome as well. Hopefully, you guys need testing for compatibility with the Intel graphics card. So, this Battlemaster saying that's the card he has, and hopefully we need testing with it. Definitely. I mean, we're going to need all specs tried, and when we can get you guys in, we'll definitely try to get you guys in.
Yeah, well, we're also getting some hardware. George has got some hardware to test Min a bit again, just because our Min is what HD3K is it's 5 years old or something like that. Yeah, it's more than 5 years old actually. So we might adjust Min spec a little bit just because people have good machines now. Yeah.
For dust clouds, have you thought about reducing the damage per second to non-engine components a bit?
Yeah. Basically, yeah. I mean, guns and stuff. I don't know if Eric did, but I haven't really thought much about it.
I think it's just a matter of. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. I mean, I haven't really thought much about it. I don't. I mean, it's a menace right now. But on the, I would say on the DM matches, I think anyway. This is what I think, right? And people can tell me if I'm wrong. But I feel like it's really more a choice whether you go into the dust storm or not, right? I mean, where it becomes less of a choice is in Desert Scrap, and I think in Desert Scrap it's so chaotic and free for all, and it affects both teams that way. I didn't really feel it's necessarily causing advantage and disadvantages. I think it's just a general menace. So.
I mean, when I see a lot of players playing it, granted, Desert Scrap is kind of notorious for it because it runs right through the capture point. But there are ways of actually avoiding these clouds if you, on other maps like Dunes, for instance, and things like that, to dodge it. But a lot of engagements I've seen happen to be right in that S. So it just creates a whole new dimension of complications to consider when you're actually also engaging with ships. So will it affect? That's a good question, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I personally think the dust cloud is the defining factor of Battle on the Dunes. Otherwise, it's it's a very, very open map kind of thing. It's not there's a cloud in between. There is a death cloud, a damaging cloud in between. So I think that danger adds a lot to it.
Yeah, I mean that's why I enjoy playing the maps. Certainly, understandably, hearing players' feedback on it is nice too. But it seems like for the most part, it's a pretty acceptable feature in the game as far as what it does to all the components, let alone non-engine components.
Have we thought about having the harpoon have the ability to attach onto like walls and other solid objects for maneuverability? The issue there is predicting what a harpoon will do when it attaches to something has been a huge source of confusion for players, mostly because there's a lot of forces of physics going on at work, and it's really hard to say, oh, my ship will automatically do X, Y, or Z.
That is actually a really good question. Like figuring that out, because I've always there's times I didn't quite understand it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I think it's the way the chips,
yeah,
right?
The thing is, the math is right. Like, it's just the human mind's estimation of it is normally a little off, kind of thing.
Yeah. The best candidates for like a harpoon would be a galleon, for instance, right? Because you would be able to hold your own ground a lot better than most ships that you try to attach to.
I mean, this is like competitively. I think in the past, so for example, like the Ducks used to be able to do that. So I mean, they'll
use harpoons competitively.
They use harpoon in the back.
But that was back when harpoons wouldn't detach after 5 seconds, right? That was before that patch. Because they used to attach perpetually.
Right.
Now, there was a time when that was a thing, so I remember that too. It was a real nuisance too. But certainly, yeah, I mean, it is probably very misunderstood.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Maybe, harpoon. Anyway, basically harpoon can use bomb. No question.
It just needs, it just needs to find a way to be more practical for its function. Even if it has to be curving some of the game mechanics, it's something to certainly explore. But if you're thinking competitively, for example, how would it be useful there? Do we want to drive the ships back to us? Do we want to be able to just use it to throw off their arcs? Do we just want a one-sided pull or none or whatever? Do we want ourselves to be pulled to them, kind of thing? There's a lot of things to explore in that regard. But yeah, like you said, the math is right. It's just the estimation of it is. You don't know how we'd apply it, especially if it's only 5 seconds with a really long reload time. So.
Yeah. Seeing as the lore is mostly unwritten, do you think that it makes sense that lore-driven competitive events like the Aerodrome would rewrite or modify the lore to come? So, I mean, as always, Eric is probably going to have the final say on, what is true and what is not true. But I think our world, especially, this post-apocalyptic kind of place, really is a great place for player-driven stories. Just the idea of, listen, I'm going to tell my story. It may or not be true, it's like a bar tale kind of thing. Is the Battle of the Aerodrome's talking about, did those all exactly happen that way in truthful lore? Maybe, maybe not, but those are the stories that players are going to tell, and those are the stories that we're probably going to take parts of for truth. I mean, they're going to be awesome pieces of lore. I mean, we're joining in. The Muse team is one of the merchant clans for the Aerodrome 3 kind of thing. I really love everything players have thought about and put in. I don't think and I don't believe that all of it will be considered true lore, but I think in bar tale fashion it will be true in some sense. Something's going on with Spider Blimp. Sorry, people are just talking about Spider Blimp, so I have no idea what's going on there. Everyone wants to explain Spider Blimp. So, will Skywheels hunt me and my crew as solitary predators, or will they attack in coordinated packs? And just how damaging will their flamethrower blowhole attack be?
On the question of Skywheel, topic of Skywheel, once again, I decline. I refrain from commenting. I plead the fifth again.
I get to see this massive, awesome, mechanical whale. Oh man, flamethrower.
On the question of automaton, I will also not comment.
What about a map that's just ground for superior sniping gameplay? So, just a gray block? Because, I mean, we could technically do that today. Tim, our art director, would probably, have a heart attack, but...
Oh, man. A gray block? That would be something out of the board or something.
I mean, okay. If it's just sniping, right? If you guys just want to do sniping, what I would do is so you have these like basically you have these like barriers somehow, right? Like you can't. So like you have barriers on either side that you. So like you're only on your side and you can't cross to the other side. And they're like openings, right? Like in the barriers, and you could basically just snipe each other. So like you could only snipe in long range and never close distance. What do you guys think? It's too good.
And
Match will never end, probably.
I don't know. A few of the gunners will take you out, but I think the average match would be quite a bit longer. Have you considered tuning the Manticore a bit? The heavy clip modifications and subsequent Hwacha buff was ridiculous in my eyes. Like,
I've heard that a bit actually. Like the
so we heard that a bit. Like we've actually, okay, to be totally honest, I've heard it on either side, right? Because like, well, some people's argument is that, well, okay, it's, you know, right now at long range though, like Hwacha is less effective because, you know, it's really more, you know, it's not as easy to target components, use it as a disabling weapon, right? It's like good for hull armor at longer range, but it's like less effective for
it's still
for targeting components.
Like it's.
I mean, yeah. So anyways, that's sort of the argument, and
at distance, that's the thing I think most people are arguing is that it's still much more powerful now because the spread isn't as wide, so it doesn't force players to really use like a skill to be able to shoot because of that whole
but the
thing
thing
too.
yeah,
Kind of
it is offset. Like so, the heavy clip change is supposed to be offsetting the, you know, reduction in jitter on the Hwacha gun itself, right? So
I would actually argue that it inadvertently improved it because that slight 30% jitter actually spreads that like long sniping shot just enough to hit more components at a longer distance.
Okay, but there are also like, you know, some individuals in your own clan who don't necessarily agree with what you're saying, Mikko. So I'm saying that's kind of the tough part, the tough position that we're in. But although I don't really know, like, to be honest, like if Hwacha's buff, I mean, I feel like Hwacha might be the bigger buff for the Hwacha might be stamina, right? When the gunner uses it, because it can reload faster. That actually might be the.
From a lot of the matches I've seen and been in, it doesn't feel like. I mean, stamina certainly helps, you know, especially in some of those matches. But I think what most people seem to notice is like the slightly reduced jitter is just what helps tremendously with those shots, and it like disables ships so fast and tears them apart, especially in pub matches.
At longer ranges, like I don't think it's actually supposedly, you know. It doesn't really help in disabling.
But if you're within
because
like
heavy
800 meters,
jitter is also,
which most ships tend to be, it's going to happen and it's going to hurt. It's going to really hurt.
Yeah. So I mean, the net effect is, I don't know what I mean, right now, like some people are saying the net effect's greater, some people are saying the net effect's just not as much. Maybe Eric's better to comment, but it's like, I mean, I feel like there may be some you know, response bias here, to be honest, because when we watch, I was an effective gun before, right? I mean,
I think it's always been an effective gun if you know how to use it right.
Yeah, so it's really.
It's just the reduced jitter has just made it feel more powerful because it's.
Yeah, but the heavy jitter is also adjusted. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, like I said, like it probably helped reinforce it slightly. And some people can argue this, of course, because that 100% jitter is nice too. The reduced jitter is nice too. But when you're shooting heavy clip Hwacha, you know, that 70% reduced jitter, it's like this. It's not like as if it's a pinpoint shot and you can miss a lot of them if you don't time it. But it's more like you can shoot it and the spread's just wide enough so you can actually hit multiple opponents from 1,800 meters away as opposed to being up close to them. You know, granted you have a smaller clip, you know, but I would argue it's still pretty useful. I know some people can debate that.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's definitely still useful. But then I'm not really sure if it's like more effective than before. I mean, some people might argue that, but you know, some people argue.
Some people like mentioned like trying to bring it back to its. I don't really know exactly what the values have changed, but like the base jitter for Hwacha back to what it was before, but keeping what it is that way it balances out in the sense that it's a wider cone, but it's still
Yeah, but I mean, if
really
you
effective.
we do that, then people like, I mean, essentially the watch out will be like more nerfed than it is now. If it's like
Maybe like something
if some people
between,
think it's
like a
nerfed at all.
compromise, because like it's halfway maybe. I don't know. It's something to worth thinking about because I get a lot of emails about that too, actually, and a lot of feedback on it too. So there's like a big debate about that. So
Yeah, but the thing is though, like to be honest, guys, like every time we, hate to say this, but like every time we, touch a gun, where regardless of the net effective effect is, like every time we touch a gun, if we say like negative 0.000001% reduction, people are gonna say it's less effective.
Yeah, I mean, the
It's
fact
not,
that
no offense, guys, but like,
oh yeah,
like,
I mean,
this is the thing is I've been also trying to measure. I've been trying to do more to measure response biases, right? And I mean, it's hard to quantify how big that is, but yeah, I mean, it absolutely exists. So unfortunately, well, whatever. Fact of life.
yeah, and so there's been a couple questions from there, and a lot of comments. Yes, that is my dog in the very corner of the screen. She meanders around freely. I'm glad everyone is enjoying her. Her name is Echo. So, then people are asking, how about some non-combat NPCs on the ship, like Guy AI cleaning the deck, stuff like that, to increase immersion?
Oh my god, dude! You just yes, you just something that I've. Yes, that's my dream.
The one problem I see with that is most of the
game.
ships are built very efficiently, so there's not a lot of space for deckhands.
No, like the cleaner, right? There's like deckhand, maybe like just an extra AI command. It's like, hey, clean my deck for me, go clean, and then or another command. It's like, hey, go get my coffee, get my rum. That's like my dream.
Alright, I have an idea for a game mode. One crew is on a boss ship and everyone else is on normal ships and everyone tries to destroy the boss ship.
Yep, the asymmetric game mode. That's like hugely requested, and yeah, it's awesome. Right now we're not working on that, just because we got a number of game modes we are working on, but yeah, that's something that's definitely in the back of our minds for sure. It's like absolutely.
Do you have any steampunk shows or movies you would recommend?
Shows and movies
In the steampunk universe, yeah.
Yeah, they run like the gamut. Like, they're I don't know. Like, what do you think, Matt? Like, recently I don't know like if how you guys feel, right? But have you guys seen like Martin Scorsese's Hugo? If you haven't, I actually recommend that. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can't think of anything specifically steampunk kind of thing.
For what
For movies,
there are a lot of things.
movies and
No,
TV shows.
there are a lot of things steampunk. It just like it's hard to, because I mean, I don't know if you guys want like steampunk airship or just steampunk in general, but steampunk airship is obviously a lot more. It's a lot harder to find.
There's probably like a lot of animated stuff on it. There's not really.
Yeah. Like I would definitely recommend a lot of Miyazaki stuff. I feel like it's obviously a different tone. From
Half of the Skies are a really good one. I like that one a lot.
Someone brought up Treasure Planet. That was a fun movie.
I
I don't know if you call it. I mean, it's sort of steampunky, but it's also very. I don't know. I guess you'd call it steampunk, even though it's all space. It is definitely the theme of it is very steampunk.
It's kind of cliche, but what about that Wild Wild West movie with?
Oh no, that's a
But
terrible, terrible movie.
But it is in the time frame, and it is kind of.
Okay, yeah, it might be steampunk,
big
but
spider,
he said which one we'd recommend.
No,
Do
that's
not recommend Wild Wild West to anyone. Okay,
I don't think.
No, not recommend. No.
It'd be hard for us to say. Well, steampunk. I don't know. I mean, like, okay, so there's lot of different things. So like, I don't know if you guys seen Firefly, but we actually drew, so for example, like with music, like with scores, right? Like Tim and I drew some influences from Firefly as well, and so we'll take different influences. I mean, Miyazaki stuff. I think some of the just maybe even Hollywood movies where it's like steampunk. Like I really I enjoy Hugo, for example, and it's kind of amazing that is set in a train station, right? It's really cool.
I would.
Yeah, I mean, top of mind. I need to think about it. I'll get back to you guys, but yeah, there's plenty, I think.
Yeah, I would say Trigun for me, as far as the shows I'd recommend that to me. And I know it's one of those future past kind of things, but it's still kind of steampunk. It's a very Western centric thing, and the technology isn't like truly understood, and I know. I really like that one. I don't know if
Or
you call it true
have you guys
steampunk.
seen the animated film Steam Boy?
Someone brought that up in the chat, Steam Boy.
Yeah. Steam Boy's good.
Someone is asking, have you thought about making some animated shorts about Guns of Icarus to bring possible awareness to the game? So how long did the trailer, like the faction trailer, take?
Yeah, I mean, they take a while to create. If we want to do this ourselves, it takes a while. But unless we like outsource it to some other people, which we kind of don't want to do. But
There's always like opportunities for player created content too, but it would be really cool to see that. I've thought about that myself.
It would take us. I think it would take us
for that.
maybe a month or two to do something like cool.
Yeah, I know,
Depends on the scope. But
if we can get our models actually into the like, what is it, the Steam video maker thing they have, from what I've seen, players can pump out crazy amounts of videos. I forget what it's called, and someone's gonna correct me or tell me in the chat in just a second. But you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's
it's
the Steam
Steam
movie
thing.
maker kind of thing, where you can basically manipulate and put in models.
Yeah, I've seen that actually. So
Source Filmmaker, that's it.
yeah, there you go. Source film.
Yeah, there are an amazing videos from Source Filmmaker. If you have like a day free, because there are that many good ones, if you put in just like Source Filmmaker into YouTube, you'll find a bunch of videos that players have done over different games, and so much great content. Someone's saying if we made the models available, I bet people would find a way to put them in. Yeah, actually, let me make a card on that and dig up what needs to be done, and I'll talk to Tim and see what can be done on that end, because there's a lot of great videos that can be made in there, and you guys put in a lot of effort. So, and then what are our ideas for encouraging more Twitch streaming? I mean, the big thing is making sure there's more content coming out, kind of thing. A big one is making sure we're promoting events, and like you'll see in game, one of the things we did is we made it so you can actually put Twitch pages directly into the community page. The launcher idea that I'm still super pumped about will also have links to more streams, so we can feature more people, kind of thing, as well. So basically, we can hit a wider group. Have you thought about incendiary modifications as to make it more effective on more weapons and instances? I don't know. I don't. Howard, has there been any talk about any incendiary changes?
we've seen a couple feedback requests about incendiary. Don't know if there's like area has planned to touch that, but it's I mean, what do you guys think? I mean,
Like, here's like incendiary. Like, it's useful in some ways, but it can be very niche.
I do think I mean, I guess it is maybe more of a niche ammo. Just because, like, if you're, I don't really use it, to be honest. I mean,
Well, it's great with like mine launchers because it has a reduced bullet speed.
And just Before anyone gets any questions, the loud shrieking sound is not someone being murdered in Mikko's apartment. The place he's at currently has some exotic birds there that can be very loud, so he's been muting and unmuting himself through the chat. So
Yeah, it's kind of distracting answering the questions. You know, like trying to say something. It's like. Like,
what? I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, I can definitely, when people say dinosaurs turn into birds, I guess I understand it now.
Going back to the question,
this is one of the more distracted firesides.
Yeah.
Just because, like,
it's useful on like
I'm trying to
Gatling guns if you want to shoot the balloons, but
trying to search for birds.
Like it's great on my monitors.
And that shriek just breaks it.
Yeah. But like incendiary is a kind of specific ammo type, and it's very specialized for what it's used for. So I don't know. It's something that like a see how it is approach kind of thing. I suppose like when it comes to ideas and changes for it. So I'm not really sure. I don't even know what could be done to make it more useful. Maybe reduce like. I don't know. It's a tough ammo type because it's like how it can be used is very specific to certain weapons, but like how to make it better without making it too overpowered or.
Well, let's put it this way.
It's like it's like one of those weapons. It's just one of those things. Like it's hard to really address.
Yeah, I mean, well. Anyways, I think for this we can actually take arguments. Like if people have a good use case for how to improve the ammo and whatnot, have a well thought out case, and we'll absolutely entertain it.
Like these emails that I get regarding incendiary and stuff, I do send them internally because it's stuff that's interesting to look at and it's certainly worth like taking a peek at. So if any of you guys in the chat and stuff have anything you want to suggest, send it our way because I will take a look at it definitely. It's something worth exploring. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like Mr. Disaster is pointing to a forum thread, but
yeah, if you guys link those too, we look at those as well because I'm always like checking out new things for it. So, and if they have good points, then definitely worth checking out. And there was some good ones before.
And I still find the best feedback to be like, sure, you can link to the forum thread, but just a summary of the thoughts because forum threads have very often very conflicting thoughts. So if it's like, oh, this had some good thoughts, it's like, well, there's a lot in here.
Yeah, and some of it can be convoluted, but it's some of them are pretty on point. But like, I guess what I look for is usually what the original thread mentions and stuff, and what it gets at, and any discussion that goes with it, considering those points. But yeah, they can be very long, so that's true. Incendiary is a very elusive ammo type, that's for sure. So.
Yep. Someone's asking, who is the special guest? The special guest is Mikko. We don't have a Fireside background with his name under it right now, but we will get one very soon. But he is Mikko, also known as, and I don't know how to say it, A-Tech? I-Tech? A-Y-E.
I learn pronounce however I want, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I-Tech, in-game name.
I-Touch. I had one person saw I-Tach, I thought that was pretty cool.
Fair enough. I still can't stream under Guns of Icarus Online. Twitch doesn't know what that game is. I have to remove the online part. We have been talking with Twitch, and they use this another database thing, and we've been talking with that, so we're trying to get that squared away. Thought we did. I'll check it out, figure out what they're doing now, because we had to switch onto there. Like, well, on the database site they used, they listed Guns of Icarus Online, also known as Flight of the Icarus, which is just the worst confusion I've seen for the naming of this game. So we'll try to get everything squared away for you guys, kind of thing. Right now, since Guns of Icarus is there, just use Guns of Icarus because that one should work. And Flight of the Icarus is a completely different game and it's been changed, so hopefully. I'm just checking out. Yeah, so Flight of the Icarus is in, you can search by it, and so is Guns of Icarus, so you can use Guns of Icarus, and it will work for the time being. Thank you for finally letting us know what game mode each map is when voting. You're really helping me. Our pleasure. It was definitely an issue that we didn't think about, so thank you for letting us know, because lets us get it fixed.
yeah, that does help a lot, especially with the pictures they post. It's great. So definitely is awesome. So glad to hear people really appreciate that.
Yep. So people are saying the sound is actually Jacob being murdered by Howard, which is why Howard doesn't have a video.
Oh man!
And the first thing after that is, now who will give us our dev game items? I'm glad you guys are
I'm
really...
a little bit okay. Hold on, I'm a little bit more practical than that, right? Because I still have to travel to the UK for EGX, and he's supposed to pick me up at the airport and drive me to Birmingham, because I have to rely on his car. His means Jacob is my sole means of transportation in order for me to even get to the show in time for setup. And that's like the only way, because train doesn't run that late and it takes like crazy long time. Yeah, it's Jacob or bust. So any murdering or whatever will have to happen after.
Fair enough.
Oh man, I better like, yeah, never mind. To say something like that on stream is, it's ominous.
Yeah, not that there's a recording you saying I would be practical in killing Jacob.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
You see, but it's evidence that you didn't kill him, because you said you wouldn't until at least after EGX.
Yeah, well, to be fair, he has to drive me back to Heathrow.
See, he's using him.
So like, I basically have no opportunity to murder Jacob.
You know,
So-
I do, and this is a question which I probably shouldn't have someplace that automatically records things. What the legal situation would be, so if Jacob drove to the airport, you killed him, and then you got on a plane to America, it seems like that'd be really hard to logistically get taken care of.
I'm pretty sure I'll be extradited and prosecuted in England. I'm pretty sure I'll be. I don't know if there's death penalty. I'm pretty sure I'll die. I don't want to.
No, there's not a death penalty in England.
I don't want to get stuck in jail for the rest of my life. I don't know.
You'll get a lot better. You're British, I suppose. I mean,
What, dude?
Jail's
Maybe Matt's more likely to kill Jacob. I don't know.
Wow, trying to throw the blame on other people already,
Yeah,
Howard.
Yeah, I want to deflect.
Wow.
I want to deflect this. I want to deflect.
oh man, Howard, just casting doubt upon everyone. Gotta watch our back, Kivai's. You know, you might come after us too. Who knows?
Apparently.
Yeah.
When are the gubbins on the boiler room outfit going to be animated?
Wait, say that again?
So, like, the
what?
little bits on the boiler room outfit, when are they going to be animated?
Oh man. Okay.
Well,
I mean,
I
technically.
love how it went from is it going to be animated to when is it going to be animated?
Yeah.
Hey, that's the way you ask questions to get things done.
Exactly.
Right?
People know us. People know us. You know, it's like, is it gonna happen? No, maybe we'll think about it. It's like, when is it gonna happen? Oh, what? Yeah. When is something? Oh, yeah, next month. Wait, what did I just?
They're gonna remember that, man.
Okay, so the boiler room costume, there's a bunch of little bits on
No,
it.
I know what the question was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, animated stuff. Like, well, there is a precedent for this, obviously. You guys know that. So technically, we could do it. It's just more work. Are we gonna do it? I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, this would be lower in priority, right? Like, it'd be cool, but yeah, I don't know when we can get to it. To be honest, it's like lower in priority. There's maps to be made, ships to be built, and so on. So.
All right. And do we have an estimated date for co-op mode or for early access?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I keep pushing the estimate back, so I feel like bad. I feel really bad because obviously, you know, you guys are asking us on a weekly basis, and which is great, but you know, it's supposed to be like now, right? But like I guess it didn't happen. But I think. Yeah, I mean, right now there is the one thing that I'm not sure about is that we want to make to do an art pass on I feel like okay, a lot of things are under control. I think retrieve balance is going to take some more iteration. The one thing that is the two things that are really long lead time that I don't really know for sure right now is that on the one hand we want to do an RPass on the assault map because we spent a lot of time balancing that map and I feel like it's in a pretty good state. But now we had to do an RPass on it to make it look nice, which I think it will be something that you guys will enjoy instead of placeholder assets and stuff like that. So we want to do an RPass on Assault, but the thing is that right now map creation takes a long time, and so Alex is working on tools to make map creation a lot faster, but that tool is kind of untested. Whatever he's creating is kind of untested. So, working with Alex's new tools, new flow, will probably take a while probably take a little bit anyway. And so, how long is that going to take, or how much time we can save? Not exactly sure yet. So that's one unknown. The other unknown is that we already saw some performance issues, like memory issues and whatnot, and we're debugging, and we're trying to basically kind of go through the maps and try to solve performance issues. And there's also big performance issue with some with AI, I think, and ships and whatnot. So it will take us a while to also kind of work through the performance issue before we get it in your hands, because then I don't want a test experience to be marred by crashes and stuff like that, where we know that they exist and something that we can control. How long that takes is a little bit TBD. I'm not exactly sure. So supposedly it's 2 weeks ago I was supposed to take an action item and figure out the remaining tasks and about how long it takes, and we did that. And we know what the scope is to get to early access, but for you guys. But then we run into a couple unknowns that right now I'm not exactly sure. I mean, with performance issues, we're looking at it, right? But then because they're not terribly easy to debug, we kind of have to go through the work, and without doing it, we're actually solving it. I'm not exactly sure how long it takes us. So hopefully we can get it done sooner rather than later, but it'll probably be no more than a few weeks, I think.
All right, and then we had a question from Bandage Boy. He said, "My buddy said I should get Guns of Icarus a while back. Sorry, your message just. But he didn't tell me much about it. Why should I play?" Well, I'm glad you asked. As you see, the entire chat has been
This is the guy to ask right here. Yeah.
Has been exploding, telling you, a bunch of great reasons. It's very teamwork based, especially if you have a friend. It's a very interesting game on that aspect, because it's not, Call of Duty, my friend's next to me and, we're trying to work together, but I got a shotgun and just went crazy or whatever. It's, both of us are controlling the same unit. We're controlling a ship in different ways. I'm controlling the guns or the repairers or flying it, and he's doing something else, and you're working together in one of the most just teamwork-oriented ways. You're all trying to make this thing kill another thing, and it's very, and I like to use the word, it's unique, it's different, and it's fun. Your friend, you should definitely bug your friend more, if you have more questions, and YouTube videos are a great way as well. There's a lot of YouTubers we've worked with who've put out a lot of videos. They're not, some are edited, some aren't. You can look at the unedited ones to see what a match is like from start to finish, or you can see the edited ones just to see a lot of the YouTubers do their funny moments kind of thing. But if you're looking for just visceral combat in the most teamwork oriented way, with a little bit of that naval strategery in there, Guns of Icarus.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can also check us out every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. We play Guns of Icarus on this channel. There's videos on this channel if you look at past broadcasts, so you can see what it's like. It's normally the view is either me flying or Jacob's gunning. And you'll get to see what it's like playing and what we're talking to each other and all the trash we talk to each other. So let's see. Wow, yeah, him bringing that up has made the entire community talk about how great we are. So thank you so much. Mikko, I heard some rumors about the leaderboard. Can you tell me? So, Mikko.
Okay, so it's still a work in progress, but we're the team with SES. We want to see what we can do to encourage, because SCS is sort of like a skirmish, if you will. It's not necessarily a proper competitive event. It's just a means for teams to get together and fly their teams' ships and kind of gauge themselves in terms of actual competitive play. It's where the events happen, so they can prep themselves for bigger events later in the future too. And that's it in that regard. But we also want to kind of reward people for participating in these events. We want to have a good player retention, and we also want to make people feel accomplished after they've done these kinds of things. So we have a leaderboard system that we're discussing right now, and probably will be implementing pretty soon, where it will factor in participation and skill. It's kind of a duality of both. The main purpose is to give people a sense of accomplishment, and show them that they have a presence in the community when they're playing with these kinds of events. So people can go and see this leaderboard in the game itself, and it'll update it every week when we post the new scores and updates. Right now, I think we're looking at the idea of, because the way the system is currently set up, it's probably going to be reset every 4 months, so that it kind of creates a new level playing field and creates new stats for every team. That way it kind of shows a new dynamic. But ultimately, I would love to see kind of a perpetual one, so it kind of just changes over time and just shows the stats as it goes on. So, but it is certainly, we've been discussing it for a couple months now actually, and it looks like it'll probably be implemented pretty soon. We'll be making announcements on the thread as well about these kinds of changes and how the system works, how its scoring values are working and stuff like that, so people have an idea on how it is. But it's pretty exciting news. So definitely gonna be seeing it pretty soon. So keep you guys posted for it.
All right, we are caught up on questions, and we are 7 minutes away from ending for today, and then the Iron Fork of Friday will start. So definitely, you can get more questions. You can bring up more goofy and personal questions as well, so we can keep the ball rolling. On the page of things we'd recommend, there's been a lot of sales online and games being picked up. Howard, you talked about all the games you picked up. Any of those that you'd recommend for the community?
From Steam sale, well, I haven't played enough of anything to recommend, to be honest. It's terrible. So bad. I think, you know what? I'm going to make a concerted effort to play the Steam games I bought on summer sale this weekend. I'm going to do that, and you're going to ask me. Okay, the one game I'm really I really want to play. I haven't played yet, but I really want to play is this War of Mine. It's also an IGF award winner, and looks like a great game. So that's the first game I will play.
You see, it looks too stressful for me. I feel like I've got enough stress in my day-to-day that I feel like I'd get too consumed by it. So you'll definitely have to let me know what you think of it for this War of Mine. Because I've been playing more goofy and adventurous Hand of Fate, and that'd be my recommendation. If you're looking for a very interesting take on procedurally generated dungeons, it does it very well. How about you, Mikko? Pick up anything recently that you think the community should check out?
Well, I'm actually this next week. I love strategy games in general. So both team player-based ones like Guns of Icarus and individual grand strategy games. So I'm a huge fan of Paradox's Crusader Kings 2, and they should be coming out with a new DLC next week on Mongols. So I'm pillage and rape and just conquer everything in your path. Seems pretty legit.
Gotta love Crusader Kings 2.
Yeah, I saw you were playing it too, and I was like, it's probably a mod though, right? The Warhammer stuff.
No, I play it pure. I love medieval casus belli and marriage and
murdering kids. There's just so many terrible things in that game. It's just wonderful. The strategy behind everything is just a thinking process and all the unknown factors and stuff. That's what I love about games.
I think that it's the storytelling aspect for me.
Yes, that too. That is one of my biggest.
Have you guys played Never Alone? Anybody?
Never Alone.
No.
I've heard of that one actually. I don't know if I played it though.
I think I might play that this weekend too.
Yeah, definitely. I also picked up recently. It's more of like thinking puzzle game, but it was called Don't press that button. It was like a really minimalist, like 8-bit kind of single image kind of like interface, and so you're like at the station and you do all kinds of crazy stuff. But it's all kinds of puzzles and figuring out how to get the endings. So if you're like one of those people that really like to think about puzzles, that's a pretty neat game. Definitely, it's very simple and like minimalist and stuff. I think it's only like $50 on Steam, so it's pretty awesome.
All right.
Sounds good. So there was one question, which we'll grab before we go, which is, how's the art team doing with co-op player cosmetics? Have they finished and moved on to other things, or is it a split kind of effort? So
It's a split effort. Right now, like basically one person is doing the costume, and that's Vanessa. She like contracts with us, but she's like basically working on all the costumes and stuff, and she's been moving through the factions, doing pretty well. Like we probably should have like the completed costume kind of. Maybe do a preview of it to see like everything. I think Tim wanted to wait until everything is done, but maybe we can give you guys a preview. But it's like she's making good progress. While she's doing that, so Jack and Eugene were basically doing ships, and I think they finish. Are they doing Are they doing 2 new ships? Maybe they're doing 2 new ships actually. I might be wrong. I think they're actually doing 2 new ships, and then our like interns in. Basically, like everybody else is doing guns. So and we have like 4 guns going simultaneously, I think.
all right, and with that, we will end for the day. I'll let you guys join the Iron Fork of Friday, which will be happening in-game. If you go to the community tab, you'll get to see it. Hopefully you join in, play some great Guns of Icarus. Beyond that, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week. As always, Tuesday, Thursday, 5 p.m. and 3 p.m. again for the Dev Fireside Chat on Fridays. You guys are awesome. Stay awesome, and we'll see you later.
Hey, by the way, this week's Dev Hour, my record is 6-1. So.
Yes, 6-1. Howard's been on fire this week. My God.
True. Howard has an amazing week, so you guys will have to come and destroy his self-worth and.
The crazy thing is, this guy, he didn't even. He intentionally lost the last one. He's just like, it's okay. I'll let this one go. Like he was being merciful. He was ruthless.
Bye, everybody. We will see you next week.
Take care.